There are certain shows that I call slow burners. Such shows require great patience from the viewer. However, this endeavor is satisfyingly rewarding when the plot picks up rather nicely. A show that caught my radar recently was My Hero Academia. One of my viewers egged me on of giving it a watch. And well, after fully catching up to speed as of this video's upload, I personally feel like there's a lot to express at hand. Okay, just a disclaimer, this video will contain some minor spoiler points. Okay, enough beating around the bush. What the hell is My Hero Academia? Okay, if someone out there wants a textbook answer, here. My Hero Academia was originally a manga created by Horikashi. Please forgive me, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. You guys can probably Google search a better pronunciation than I can. The original manga series has massed over 22 volumes. As of April 3rd, 2016, the anime adaptation came into the spotlight to capitalize on the successful opportunity. The show so far has garnered high praise from a plethora of viewers. The show is pushing forward strong with its 4th season most likely going to release around October of 2019. Okay, that's enough of the history lesson. Personally, what were my impressions? Quite frankly, my initial opinions on the show were rather negative, but hold up. Let's go over the gist of the basic plot to enable me to elaborate my thoughts. We are introduced to the protagonist of the series, Izuku Midoriya. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce these names. This is gonna be a, I suppose, run-on joke. Just for my own purposes, let's just call him Deku for the rest of the episode to make my life easier. Deku, like most kids his age in this world, where superhero work is the norm, aspires to follow in suit. There is one issue, however, that is established rather early on. Deku was not born with a superpower, or in this case, a quirk. Even with such massive drawbacks that would obviously make hero work essentially impossible, he's dead set on attending UA. UA is a high school that prioritizes on superhero training. Hope dwindles before applying to UA, and his intimidating acquaintance Kachan literally is out for blood for him. I'll discuss about him a little bit later. However, one fateful day, Deku meets All Might. Yeah, All Might is the absolute #1 hero who Deku admires the most. But All isn't as perfect as All Might explains to Deku that due to an injury, his powers are only available for a certain time limit until it needs to cool down. While with All Might, Deku attempts to save his classmate Kachan. As a reward for his brave and selfless effort, All Might selects Deku as his future successor to pass down his quirk, one for all. From here on, Deku goes on adventures to one day lead to his goal of being the #1 hero. Okay, enough of the plot context. What did I actually think? Well, I typically find a zero to hero story kind of cliche, but the story did everything so right, I kinda could care less afterwards. A lot of Deku's flashbacks are extremely emotional enough that frankly motivated me to continue watching. While this is great, I however feel that Deku really does get outshined by his other classmates. Now, this isn't to discredit him, but the supporting cast is just amazing. At first, I felt that there were too many extra characters within this class. Surprisingly though, the story gives most of these characters enough room to breathe and express themselves. And when shown off, they steal the show away. Characters like All Might and Kachan are characters that really grow on you. All Might initially, in my opinion, kind of seemed like a cliche, goody two-shoot hero. And boy, was I wrong, and thankfully so. He's an extremely humanistic character. All Might has massive regrets that always follow him throughout the show. Sometimes his fault is that being too much of a hero ends up depleting his energy to the point that there's none in case of an emergency. His relationship with Deku is reminiscent of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker, in a very humble manner. Both play a role of teacher and student. Both either hand down or are handed down the torch for the greater good. Overall, it's an awesome character dynamic that will definitely evolve as the show continues. That's kind of the theme of growing up and trying to be the best version of yourself possible. Almost every individual in the show experiences a nuance of development. Kochon is a prime example. As mentioned before, he's essentially Deku's bully. A really unlikable one at that, but events including flashbacks give more of an insight on the character. His loud and boisterous attitude really resonated with me over time. Later down the line, instead of an annoyance, his mentality represented pride. Kochon evolves from a generic run-of-the-mill bully to an extremely complicated and fun character. Well, he literally has one of my favorite scenes in the show.
ヒーロー科の入試な。
対抗心むき出しだな。それもこれも爆豪のせいだっつうの。
先生、俺が1位になる。
This character progression could be applied to almost everyone in UA. While at first glance, I thought overall the show was cliché that followed the typical high school / hero tropes, but gladly I was extremely wrong. To wrap things up, I want to get some points / themes across the table. First of all, to be the best version of yourself. All or most of the characters have a flaw that he or she attempts to fix, some more drastic than others. A prime example being Todoroki, whose quirk specializes with half of his body being able to manipulate ice and fire. Once introduced, it's extremely evident that something is off. A bit down the line, it's shown that he refuses to use his father's passed down quirk, fire, only doing this out of spite because of his broken relationship with his father. Alas, after finally realizing that in order to reach his true and full potential, he needs to set aside his emotions to use his additional firebending skills. In other words, to be the best version of yourself, one should never live in the past, but the present. This small, engrossing character arc, like many others within the show, really helped build the plot. I could go on about other examples, like Lydia wanting to avenge his brother, or the comic relief, Great Boy simply wanting to be a hero just to score with some ladies. Whatever the reason may be, practically almost every character has a dream, no, a goal to achieve. In order to reach those heights, everyone in the show needs to put their abilities and skills into question. Also, to experiment what works and what doesn't work, to only improve themselves from the past events. In essence, to mature. To mature is to realize that even in a terrible situation, the impossible is possible.
Hey, hey, どうした？オーバーワーク。君、プラン守ってないだろ。やりすぎは逆効果だぞ。合格したくないのか？
したいですよ。僕はあなたみたいになりたいんだ。あなたみたいな最高のヒーローに。
見据えていたのは遥か先ってか。この行動派オタクめ、そういうの嫌いじゃない。
That is what the hell My Hero Academia is.